We've all been there. You've just gone to a certain place at a certain time on a certain date, done a special thing, and the thing you suspected would happen has just fucking happened. Not to mention the fact is that you've just seen whatever the fuck that is that lives in your mirror, been told in detail how you're going to die, and the highly demonic and invincible thing you summoned is heading towards you. Also, all your family is dead. Your friends are all missing, and you are being framed by someone with access to your bedroom. What the fuck do you do now, sweet protagonist? Well, you have come to the right place to find out. These are the simple rules one must follow in order to, firstly, not become the victim of creepypasta, and furthermore, to come out kicking if the worst does happen. With the help of this guide, you too can merely become a catatonic, traumatized wreck, as opposed to the guy currently being worn as a coat by some dude who just roams a lot. Just keep these simple rules in mind. Rule number 1. Mirrors and darkness don't mix. Rule number 2. Actually, mirrors are a general no in the creepypasta world. They're nothing more sinister. Rule number 3. There is 0 chance of survival if you can look at the thing that no one else can see, or answer his question incorrectly. Rule number 4. If you are alone at night in a creepy mental institution, take some time to consider what the fuck you're doing there. Then, if it's appropriate to do so, leave. Rule number 5. Avoid going to places where everyone else who went there never came back, or died inexplicably. Rule number 6. If someone stopped your vehicle at night and asked to come with you, it would be probably in your best interest to politely decline. Rule number 7. Killing is the last method of survival. Use it sparingly, but without fear. Rule number 8. Who was phone? So that was a good thing to ponder. Also, who the hell answers a phone while having sex with a dead person's sexy daughter? A creepy rapist. That's it. Rule number 9. Get a simple .38 revolver loaded with 2 silver bullets. If you really feel that there is no chance to come out alive in a situation, take one shot at whatever that is threatening you. If this doesn't work, you still have the last shot to become a hero with. Rule number 10. Area 51 is simply too well guarded to let you get in, or to let any alien out. Rule number 11. When going to a hotel, try to steer clear of unauthorized areas. If you couldn't resist but you saw a red thing, take some time to consider the price range and the hotel standard on your next visit. Have you ever stayed at Haunted Hilton? Rule number 12. When booking your hotel stay, TripAdvisor can be a valuable tool in deeming whether your choice is the scene of a multiple murder full of dead people or built at the House of Hell. Local newspapers can also be helpful. Rule number 13. Invoking demons. Speaking weird languages and performing rituals of any kind is considered dangerous. Refrain from doing that, especially around abandoned warehouses, churches, psychiatric institutions, the woods, in your house, in front of a mirror at night. Rule number 14. When going into a new area, environmental understanding is a key to survival. Ask around for cursed places, legends, dangers, and other details. Listen to the local people's advice, and don't be afraid to ask if you're unsure which attacks or / disappearances are paranormal, and which aren't. Rule number 15. Always have a Bible next to your bed. Provides average reading material, proof of beliefs, and a really heavy and effective object to throw at enemies. Rule number 16. Don't count on holy water. Get a sterling vial of sulfuric acid and let a priest consecrate it. Rule number 17. Japanese priests cleanse rooms by waving katana swords around. Their ritual is 100% effective on corporeal forms. Rule number 18. If you find 666 messages on your phone, mailbox, email, etc., consider changing the said service provider. Also, don't bother listening to or reading the messages. It's spam. Extra dimensional? Possibly, but spam nonetheless. Number 19. All pharmaceutical companies can't help you. When specifically need blood of the innocent, snake oil, or radioactive syrup, which is never. Rule number 10. If you need to sign it in blood, you do not need to sign it. All mainstream governing bodies will accept contracts signed in ink. Bear this in mind if offered deals that seem too good to be true. Rule 21. Lighthouses are dangerous. Avoid them at all costs. If you work at a lighthouse, consider a career in insurance sales or veterinary care. Have you ever read 3 Skeleton Key? Rule 22. There is simply no reason to listen to music that causes suicidal tendencies. Rule 23. Or to watch films that have had strange, disastrous consequences. Rule 24. If you like to plan ahead and have some money, buy your auntie and uncle a house in Bel Air. Nothing can harm you, no matter how scared your mother is. Rule 25. Secret, secluded, untouched places and old buildings are left untouched for a reason. Pioneers never say die, but they in fact do have an unusually high mortality rate. Rule 26. Before you start swimming in the ice-cold waters of a murky lake at the center of a dark forest at midnight, ask yourself, do you really want to travel to an ancient and terrifying city? If the answer is no, then stay at home instead and watch whatever quality programming is available on Cinemax, which means boobs. Rule 27. On your 33rd birthday, try celebrating in a well-lit house with a company of others. Rule 28. Refrain from using the one true name for anything. There's probably a reason people give it anything. Rule 29. Watching TV static for long periods of time may be hazardous to your health. Try satellite TV or Freeview to combat this problem. Netflix and internet streaming are also effective. Rule 30. Get a cat. Those furry hairballs seem to perceive unnatural phenomena better than us. And if desperate, something throw whatever's about to get you. Rule 31. Safety in numbers. If you're getting a bit too freaked out, grab a few friends and any all firearms and avoid the area in question. Rule 32. Cemeteries are bad places, especially in foggy conditions and on Halloween. Rule 33. Try not to close your eyes. Ever. If you must do so only briefly. If something has moved from its original location in the time that's taking you to blink, it is recommended that you do not blink again until you've dealt with said object. Fire is presumably the best method. Rule 34. If you ever find an unmarked tape which contains the file extension AVI, even if it is your favorite kids show, do not, under any circumstances, watch that tape. Now, if the extension is .mts, that is a different matter altogether. Rule 35. If you hear chanting, run until you are out of earshot. Rule 36. If you are too old to play with dolls, you do not need to be near any one of those creepy little buggers. Rule 37. Legends can offer invaluable insight on whether or not to go camping with friends. Rule 38. When babysitting, ascertain to the family's tastes and preferences to avoid being killed by poorly selected statues. Rule 39. Even if you are certain that running will not save you, best to try. Rule number 40. If you go to buy a used video game, whether it's at a GameStop or a garage sale, never buy the one with the weird looking cartridge. This includes strange looking colors and ripped off labels with titles written in marker. The latter tends to happen more often than not. For the daring, don't just buy said game to become famous. Your chance of becoming an internet celebrity because of it can only work if you know how to program. You should also be highly suspicious of games priced too cheaply and bootlegs. Rule 41. If you decide to buy said used game, as stated in Rule 40, rip that son of a bitch out of your console the moment it starts acting funny and take a hammer to it. Rule 42. If you ever see a strangely new looking doorway with a strange face on it, on a building you swore you didn't see at first and the building happens to be an old chateau, don't fucking open it. Rule 41. It's probably best to refrain from looking up the Google phrase, Huskies with grins. You'll just end up having to spread the word. Rule 44. Never allow someone to take a picture of you with an outdated camera. If it's too late, your only bet is to gamble with death. Or just trap them in a photo, that works. Rule 45. Don't play with dolls if they come with a needle or defect. Especially a defect. Rule 46. Burn Ouija boards. But be sure to have one of those car fresheners handy. The real reason why spirits get pissed off is because of that foul aroma that is produced when it burns. Rule 47. Never confront animated puppets physically. Subdue them with spells or they'll come back with minions or in a real physical body. Rule 48. If you find yourself unable to escape, dancing may ward off the entity. Doing the hokey pokey is known to ward off curious monsters, but you might have to do the moonwalk if you deal with zombies. Rule 49. If you are checking your computer for viruses and go too deep into System 32, refrain from clicking on any AVI files. If you do not heed this warning, creepy videos on you, dude. Rule 50. If you see old tapes containing the words happy or epi, pretend you never saw them. Just go on with your life. It'll end up invoking some whacked out, cooped up director of an old children's show, and you wind up having to pull some thanks for the ride shit to kill him. Rule 51. If you buy a used camcorder and find the previous owner left in one of their tapes inside, refrain from watching that tape no matter how tempting it may be. Rule 52. Be careful when buying an old secondhand TV. Rule 53. If you see a guy with an incredibly large smile and white and black eyes, extricate yourself from the premises post haste. Rule 44. Rule 54. Don't go to a friend's house to bake cupcakes if they have random spurts of insanity. Rule 55. Phone companies with low coverage are best avoided. Rule 56. .exe files with strange names are not safe. Don't open them. Rule 57. For the love of Neptune, turn off your fucking faucet when you're done with it. Rule 58. If you are told not to look behind you, it's better to do so. Unless you're behind a wall. Rule 59. Also, do not listen to anyone who tells you to go to sleep. It's better to run away. Rule 60. If you see a tall man with tentacles, run. Rule 61. Do not enter strange websites. Rule 62. Do not enter strange places. Rule 63. Not even strange videos. Rule 64. If a woman who covers her mouth asks you if she's beautiful, tell her she's average. It will prevent her from slicing your mouth. Rule 65. No good can come from owning a shiny Pokemon. Rule 66. If you are an intern at a cartoon studio and you just happen to be reviewing a new episode, make sure the episode is safe for work before viewing that shit. Rule 67. Don't be so excited when being asked to look behind you, but don't take forever. You need to keep certain death waiting. Rule 68. Weird shit in Europe won't hurt you in the United States. Leave that to Creeps, Scarecrow, and the Creepy Dark. Rule 69. Weird shit in the United States won't hurt you in Europe. Damn it! Rule 70. Should you break Rule 54, there's always a chance of rescue. Rule 71. If your brother is tired of noise, or if your close friend has a brother like that, refrain from going into his basement unless you want to be tortured, raped, and killed, especially raped. Isn't that right, NCP? Rule 72. If you buy a memory card and it has saved data on it, delete all of the saves. Rule 73. If you get a drawing of Sonic on a disc and the only file that's on the disc is a .exe file called Sonic, don't play it. Destroy it, or a demonic being that looks like a Sonic plushie might kill you. If you choose not to, it'll scar you for life. Also, we're doing this in one take, and we're uploading this in one take. Ha ha ha. Rule 74. If you see what happens to be a 12-year-old kid with black shorts, a gray, bloody shirt, red shades, dark gray skin, and a maniac grin, do not, under any circumstances, piss him off. Unless you're weird prior. Or brave. Rule 75. Neighbors may have a darker side. If they do these things that seem off for them, act normal. Rule 76. In addition to Rule 77, if you hear foreign voices from your body, that means you've been bodyjacked. Rule 77. If you are an adult and notice that you're being stalked by a guy with a black suit, long arms, and no face, reach for the nearest child and throw at him/her, and then run like hell. Rule 78. If you are the child in the same situation, run like hell before said adult uses you to satisfy aforementioned being's craving hunger. If you do not manage to escape before the adult stags you, try bargaining with the Slender Man. The adult has a much more delicious plus. Rule 79. The Slender Man, said monster depicted in the last two tips, feeds on paranoia. But if you remember the Slender Man only once, he wants a hug, he doesn't go after you. But if Slender Man does stalk you, run, man! Also, don't criticize me on that. That line was fucked up, alright? Rule 80. If all else fails, give Slender Man $20. And he should leave you alone. Rule 81. If you see someone calling around, it's more likely to be something. You don't want any more information about it. Rule 82. If you are a police officer, state trooper, FBI agent, or any person of authority, you have only 2 days left until retirement. If you happen to notice anything suspicious or dangerous to health, get the fuck out of there immediately. Rule 83. If you're being chased by any creepypasta and feel that you are 100% out of options, attempt to run to wherever Stephen King is doing his next book signing. Your killer will be far too interested in trying to get an autograph to remember what they were doing there in the first place. If Stephen King is not your general facility, R.L. Stine is always available. Rule 84. If you are a creepypasta reader and feel like things are getting too real, take a break. Rule 85. If you find a magic stick that lets you draw living creatures, don't draw yourself. You might be surprised how pissed off your creations can get at you. Rule 86. If you wake up in the middle of the woods after falling asleep listening to your own heartbeat, take notice that somebody probably put you there, but don't call the police. Publish a book of it and get a movie deal. Rule 87. If you're being offered an orange by a demon, either don't take it or follow the steps from Rule 89. Rule 88. On the 3rd of the 3rd month of every 33rd year, seal up the openings to your house unless you want to be eaten by an evil mist. Rule 89. If you notice you're being stalked by a screaming kid in a skull mask, don't always assume that the kid's evil. Just be sure to save the bunch of crunch if you have any. Rule 90. When reminiscing about your favorite kid show on a message board, take a moment to consider whether the episode where all the kids screamed their lungs out was real or not. Also take for a moment to consider if the show was real or not. Don't mock me, I'm getting tongue thingamabobbed. Rule 91. When looking through mysterious blood-soaked pictures left in your mailbox, check to make sure you locked your windows and doors. Rule 92. Remember, snowmen have feelings too. Rule 93. Stitch is naked. Covering with a towel will cause him to die. Do so. Rule 94. If your friend disturbingly edits tapes, it's probably a good idea to never try and see him again. Rule 95. If you keep finding broken glass in your home, check to see if the shards match the color of the glass object that was broken. If they don't, run. Rule 96. If Jeff the Killer shows up in your bedroom unarmed and invites you to follow him to his home, for God's sakes, don't fucking do it. Rule 97. And to make it 100, should you notice that your friend suddenly has developed a personality that is a mix between Heath Ledger's Joker and Beetlejuice, most likely he or she is most likely inhabited. It would be best to keep clear of this person until they return to their normal, boring as fuck personality. Rule 98. If you encounter a small creature that looks like a mutant 4-armed baby with Jeff the Killer's face, do not listen to it, even if it offers you gold. Rule 99. If you are still using Windows XP and use it every day with internet, sticking with it is a pretty stupid decision. End of support means opening more doors for viruses and opening more doors for even crazier shit. Rule 100. Stay far away from abandoned music parks. Rule 101. If your son starts talking about any sort of doll from any game, do not play the fucking game. Take the gaming system and play baseball with it. Rule 102. If you do play the game and you hear any tapping at any place in your home, yell to your child to lock their door and jump from a window. It's wise to then light the house on fire, and then jump from the window with your spouse. Rule 103. Be atheist, or convert to any or religion that isn't monotheism. So, when a monster says that is, I am God, or an insane man says, God has abandoned us, you will chuckle, since it's an overused cliche, instead of being scared by your broken faith. Church always seems to fails to save you from creepypasta, and the Bible is only as good as any other heavy object to throw, so there is really no real benefit anyway. Rule 104. Always think twice of doing something stupid or doing something you might regret. Rule 105. If you come across a pro wrestling DVD that you never heard of, it was likely never released for a reason. Rule 106. If you were browsing the internet and a colorful pop-up that says, you win, you lose, or you die appears, for God's sakes, do not click on it. Rule 107. If a magic 8-ball gives you anything but yes, no, or maybe, destroy it. Rule 108. Do not go to any halfway house or mental institution you can get yourself into, in any city or any country, unless your name happens to be Legion. Rule 109. If you happen to be up in any halfway house or mental institution you can get yourself into, do not talk to the receptionist at the front desk. Instead, read a magazine, pamphlet, or any source of reading material on one of the waiting tables in the waiting area, unless your name is Legion. Rule 110. If you do talk to said receptionist at the front desk of the halfway house or any mental institution, do not ask for anyone whose name is the holder of, unless your name is Legion. Do not collect all 538 objects. There is a reason why they should not come together, unless your name is Legion. My God, I am starting to get tired right now. This is long as hell. Rule 112. If you find a bag with a bunch of dozen tapes inside of it, just fucking leave it alone. Might be some kid you punched in the face a while ago is now out to kill everyone. Rule 113. There are some parts of YouTube you should not be in. Rule 114. Do not kill anyone because you made a page on a website and the admin or someone deleted it. Just don't. You should probably go read a book or something. Rule 115. If you buy used wireless headphones off the internet, rip those sons of bitches off your head as soon as you hear static or voices. Rule 116. If you attempt to bypass a level in an extremely hard typing game, you might as well find yourself trying to kidnap children while wearing a chef's hat. Rule 117. In addition to Rule 117, there was probably a reason why the level was so damn hard. Rule 118, if you go camping in the woods and find a cabin, you should probably leave it alone. You've watched the movies. Rule 119, everyone's scared of something. If you're not scared of anything, well then you're a fucking liar. Rule 120, when playing Minecraft, do not set the render distance to tiny. Rule 121, if you do set your render distance to tiny and you see a mob that looks like Steve in the distance, set render distance to full. Rule 22, if said mob is still sighted, delete the game. Rule 123, if said mob knows Herobrine is in every game, delete Minecraft. Rule 124, if you are in your bedroom at night and you wake up to see a feeble, gray humanoid at the end of your bed, do not hesitate in throwing your covers over it and punch it to death. And maybe put that Bible I was mentioned earlier to good use. Rule 125, if previous creature escapes one grasp, it will stalk you and maul you, so if sighted again, run! Rule 126, monsters still bleed. If forced to fight one, don't think all hope is lost. Rule 127, better safe than sorry. If you do kill whatever it is that attacked you, don't think that you're safe yet. Shoot or stab them in every vital organ you can think of, or several limbs. Burning the corpse or putting it through a meat grinder helps too. My god, how many? We have 44. Alright, we have 14 more. Good lord, I am honestly getting exhausted here. Now I figure out where I am. Lovely. This is all going uploaded on YouTube because this is all going to get on one take. Yeah. Fun. Alright. Rule 128. If a banshee is screaming the living shit out of you, then the only sign you're going to die a slow, painful death. Hey, look. This thing's been going on for what? 124 minutes now? I'm gonna screw it up now. Rule 129. If you have a Yu-Gi-Oh! / Pokemon card that is a very ominous force, either creates death or magic you never imagined, either burn the card or cut it to pieces with scissors. Bending it, for example taking it to the trash, would be simply making you its next victim. Rule 130. Demonic or spiritual forces can either enter any object / person with ease and can be kept out of the object by letting a priest or a group of priests do an exorcism, as long as you or any of your members of your family are the cause of it. Rule 131. Seek out a fortune teller if you happen to have a spiritual experience that would affect your future. Rule 132. Rap Rat is not a song artist. In fact, just stay away from anything that concerns him. Rule 133. Slender Man does not always kill out of hunger or boredom. If he's stalking you, ask yourself if your death will benefit humanity. If it will, then just throw in the towel. Because he's coming. Don't believe me? Go ask all those Nazi soldiers found implanted in trees. Rule 134. Hide and seek is an evil game. Rule 135. Before you consider those horrible figments of your deranged imagination in your friends, take a good look at their face. If they have yellow eyes or they're possibly deformed, take as many pills as your local psychiatrist is willing to give. Rule 136. If you suspect that an immortal, armless monster wants to put a foot through your stomach, fucking run! Rule 137. If your walls bleed phrases that make no sense, try reading them backwards. Rule 38. If your walls start bleeding in the first place, it's best to burn the house down. Rule 134. If that one wall is miraculously unburnt, fucking run. 140. Rule 140. Get in shape. The only thing that you can do to evade the majority of creepypastas is to run. Rule 441. If you are paraplegic, make like Happy Wheels and fashion some rockets. Rule 142. If you are any kind of man or beast that appears in your room in the middle of the night, then it's best to stab it, and stab it, and stab it. Rule 143. If you have no other weapons, put that Bible I told you to keep next to your bed to good use. Rule 144. The creepypastas that become famous can't be forced. They just happen. If you're deliberately putting yourself in danger against powerful, extremely bloodthirsty beings so you can write a non-profit story to put up on a wiki page, then it must be time to accept that you are a complete fucking asshat. Follow these simple rules and little or massive harm may befall you. Either way, the most important thing is to make sure that your tale is told. Copy and repeat it pastely. Forever yours, Management. And also every creepypasta reader out there, because, let's be honest, we need things to do on the internet anyway. Also, this is all getting uploaded in one take, because there's no way in fucking hell I'm reading this again. Unless I feel like it.